Hi friends, foes and countrymen. Maybe I'll make some more foes today. I want to say something about the Deca Heggy situation, but from more of a bird's eye view. For those of you that don't know, I did a deep dive on Ron Swanson when he first came on the scene with Sean Atwood. I did a deep dive on Sean, well-ish. But anyway, I've looked and analysed a couple of times around that circuit. And with the Ron Swanson thing, I'll try and find the link to the video, but I think it's on my channel anyway. Some people got in touch with me and sent me lots of videos and screenshots and evidence of him running a kink community. And there was a young woman, subdom, submission and domination, kink stuff, which there seems to be a lot of in the online twoofer community, particularly around Sean Atwood. Although at first I thought, oh, Ron's doing a great job, he's got teams of people going on the dark web, finding child porn and busting people and shutting sites down. But he's got a fairly, or he had, probably still has, a fairly active kink community going as well. And with his researchers, he would have a master-slave thing. And one particular woman in America sent me quite a lot of evidence. I think she was in America, and he'd invited her to come over and swing with him and his partner. They'd blogged quite extensively about the damage that had occurred from engaging with this person. And then I think he's been arrested for DV, domestic violence, but certainly there was another arrest and barring from, restraining order against going around his children, his partner and children, his partner who was pregnant at the time. Now, I heard him explain it in a phone call to Decca or somebody that, he was suffering mental health issues from the COVID lockdown. And, he was just shouting, and just because he put his hand on his partner's arm, his pregnant partner's arm, the neighbour misconstrued it for domestic violence. But it doesn't quite, it's kind of on a par with Decca's versions of events. I subscribed to Deca Heggy, and I actually commented under his interview of the detective involved with the Madeleine McCann case, because he asked some good questions. But I very quickly unsubscribed and stepped way back. I'm a survivor of child sexual abuse and other things. And when I had heard the survivor, I think her name is Geraldine, very brave woman who talked about her journey to healing and recovery after a 2-year destructive and abusive relationship with Deca Heggy. I hadn't connected her to him at the time. It came up on my news feed on Facebook, I think. And I thought, brave lady, brave lady. I didn't realize the person she was talking about was Deca Heggy. But between the channels bringing evidence forward now, I've heard a conversation between Decca and his mother, where he's horrified to find out that under Clare's law, people might be able to access not just any convictions he's had, but arrests and allegations made against him. And he was saying to his mum, wow, if anybody gets hold of that, they might think I'm a serial sex pest or fiend or offender. I can't remember which word he used. And there's evidence of arranging to meet a 13-year-old under a bridge in the town. And fortunately, the little girl had the cop on to tell her mum about this person messaging her and wanting to meet her, and the mum went instead. And I haven't got all the details of that outcome, but there were 3 rape allegations so far. And according to Paddy Conroy, more are coming in. pace. And I heard a lady, I think called Rhonda, phoning, I think with this Clare's Law, if you are in a relationship with somebody that you have question marks about, or somebody close to you is in a relationship with that person, you have a right to access an enhanced DBA or ACRO, whatever it is. And I heard an extended recording, I'll play a bit of it now for you, of the policewoman saying exactly what was on Deca Heggy's record. And so disturbing, so alarming. And according to those that have been doing this research and continue to do it, there's much more to come. There's a very credible rape allegation in Scotland. There's somebody who had to have surgery after what she alleged happened to her. Medical reports, police reports. Somehow that hasn't yet ended up on the enhanced DBA or whatever it's called. So there clearly is a need for that. And I couldn't even watch the expose in full because it was just so disturbing. But some things that occurred to me was, I think my sense is that Ron Swanson handles Sean Atwood. He's the dominant partner when they were co-hosting. He was sort of telling Sean what to do and how to do it. There are recordings of Ron Swanson offering to launch Deca Heggy's career, and I'll get you out on social media, and then eventually we'll pitch to Netflix. They'd love you. You built like a brick shit house, and you've already been in the movies, as an extra, £100 a day. And I even watched a part of that, and that was painful to watch. And I was scared to do this, thinking, right, keep back, keep away. You don't need more enemies. But to be honest, if you're in this business at all and you start to lose your bottle, you might as well retire, because telling the truth in a world that's not truthful is a revolutionary act. So the other thing that disturbed me, my sense was Ron Swanson handles Sean, but they just may be in the same kink community. They may all have dirt on each other. I think Paddy Conroy again said, well, I'll let you look at it. I'll link all the channels that are True Media, The Honest Truth, Paddy Conroy, Danny Christie, all these, and Karma Corner. I'll try and link all the channels underneath, and you can look for yourself. But I'm just telling you, I've looked quite a bit, even though even the accent changes. When my nana and grandpa were from Manchester, so it's an accent that just comes upon me when I'm around it. I must do Albert and the Lion. That was one of my party pieces in my teens. That's Lancashire, but never mind. Yeah, so it's, in a way, this Deca Heggy scandal is like Daddygate 2.0. And I'm sure on some level, Decca's thinking, well, Sean Atwood managed to ride out Daddygate and portray all the researchers as trolls, and he's still got nearly 700,000 subs and gets endorsed all over the place. So I'll do a Sean Atwood. I'll just ride it out and keep deny, and troll, and this too shall pass. But I kind of like it that the hard men of the Northeast, because my first boyfriend was a Geordie as well. You might know him, some of you. I better not say his name. He's not a gangster. He was a sergeant in the army, and he retired to Darlington, but I'll say no more. Except for a funny story that his dad was a great Newcastle fan, and he said to his wife, I'm going to get a loaf of bread, and he didn't come back for 3 weeks because he met his mates getting on the train for an away match, and he got on with them. And one thing led to another, and he was embarrassed to come back with his tail between his legs 3 weeks later. Anyway, this isn't a laughing matter, really. I'm very, very proud of you, Geraldine, and any other victims of Deca Heggy, Derek, whatever his real name is, even if Heggie's a real name, I don't know. But I'm very proud of as a survivor myself, I'm very proud of those that have come forward, and very pleased when different hard men have said, if you get any threats or intimidation, let us know and we'll deal with this in real life. And it is time. I don't like fights, I don't like violence, but it is time for men to be men and stand up. Women and children are not supposed to be victimized, raped, sodomized, enticed, groomed, or any other kind of abuse, emotionally controlled, coerced, threatened, intimidated, all of that stuff. So I'm glad to see a predominantly male response to this issue. And with regard to Humble Dryer, I think when the Sean Atwood thing blew up, Callie Dime and Daddygate, which I did cover, I think it was around that time that a lot of people contacted me with videos and screenshots and testimonies. And there was somebody called Karma Jane who seemed to me to be decent, but Humble Dryer, I think, had an issue with her. And I didn't know enough to get involved. So I didn't dive deep. I watched some of it, and some of it seems back and forth. But I do agree with Chance's work. I do agree with some of What Is Truth's work. Like What Is Truth and Brian Harvey, they can spit a lot of truth, but the aggressive manner in which it's done, and the hot mic, which I coined that phrase for that situation between Chancellor and Wheezy, the hot mic situation. Like what I love is truth. So I love it when somebody says it's a fair cop. I did that. And when there are serious consequences, they need to be had. They need to be, it's not enough to say, oh, what lad hasn't done that? What fellow hasn't knocked his missus about? What? Like I can put a lot of this down to pornography, to steroids, to cocaine, but at the end of the day, you still have choices. So my main message is come to Jesus. You know, I get subscribers when I address controversial issues like that. And then some of them unsubscribe because they see me doing Bible studies. But I tell you, this world has gone so wacky. I think the Bible studies with their 100 views are more valuable than anything I could say. But something else that gave me a clue was Andrew Gine, who is loosely associated with this circle, there's no denying it, intersex, ex-police administrative assistant, campaigner against abuse, tried to uncover some the paedophile ring, I think, and some police corruption in Liverpool, but got shut down over it. But Andrew Gine said in a recent video that Sean Atwood had phoned him, I call him him and he doesn't object, had phoned him and said, will you go on Deca Heggy's, will you go on Deca Heggy's channel with Ron Swanson? And Andrew Gine said, no, I don't want to share a platform with Ron Swanson. But the bigger question is, why is Sean ringing you? Sean seems, when Sean decides to promote somebody like Deca Heggy or Ron Swanson, what is this circuit of, right, now we're going to push this one forward, now we're going to get that one subs up, now we're going to interview, you interview them, will you have this, will you have John Wedger on, will you do blah, blah. It's organised. It's not organic. It's not spontaneous. So with Ron Swanson offering to take on Deca Heggy and promote him up to pitching for Netflix, and then boasting about, offering to do the same or possibly engaging and doing the same for Darren G. It reminds me of vultures. And I wonder if it's deliberate to keep putting people forward that have a very questionable, dodgy past. Is it to discredit the truth movement? you know, because there are innocents that go on these people's platforms genuinely to tell their story, not realizing they're in the lion's den. Is it if you discredit the interviewer, you'll discredit all the guests they had on? I don't know, but I just wanted to point out that this is a network operating, and it's all connected. So I'm going to play you a brief bit of evidence, and I'll share the links to the channels that have every bit of the evidence you could ask for. To me, it's nobody has a right to interview Deca Heggy without doing this research, unless you're just clickbait hungry and stupid. So I'll save Albert in the line for another one, but let's go here. I wonder if I'll share screen. I will. Yeah, I will. Okay. And I did mark a timestamp on one video. I hope I've saved it. No, that's not the one. Here we are. This is The Honest Truth, which is does a live most Friday nights at 9 p.m. No, I've bloody right. I'm going to find True Media's channel. True Media and Paddy Conroy seem to be doing a lot of the research and work, and Humble Dry, I don't know who that is, but I'm not going to try and give credit to who's this is trending all over True Media. Here it is, 89 videos. So this is all very new. And even part of me wonders if this is orchestrated, but I don't think so. Now, the Danny Christie's response, Deca Heggy and Ron Swanson. Yeah, these are the phone calls. They talk about, you know, Ron Swanson talks about getting a hacker to access James English's phone. It seems to me, it's like Andrew Guy and Sean Atwood, Ron Swanson, Deca Heggy and others versus James English. Now, I'm not saying James English is pristine. A lot of these are portraying them as ex-bad men who've gone good. And I don't want to delve too deeply, but they do seem to be after James English. The People's Champ. I'm looking for one that says the truth. Danny Christie wholeheartedly apologises. A visit to Carlisle. Danny Christie tells Dickie the truth about Dickie's podcast. Sorry, guys, I did have this lined up, and then I had the most important documents or evidence videos or audios to me are Rhonda speaking to a policewoman, I think in Carlisle, who gives her the full rundown of what is on Deca Heggy's enhanced background check. And the other one is Geraldine, the survivor of a 2-year relationship, describing what happened to her and her engagement with the Rape Crisis Centre and with therapists and with healing, and just fair play to you. Don't feel embarrassed about being named, feel proud. Gary, now, Paddy Conroy. There's allegations that he's a police informant. He has got away with things a lot. And his poor ex-business partner, John, he's been arrested on Danny Heggy's word. A few people have. And yet the police know who and what Deca Heggy is. So why is he coming across as untouchable? And then a good point brought out about Steve Wraith and Freemasonry and so on. The video I'm looking for, this is absolutely all over the internet at the moment. These are old, because Paddy Conroy at first backed Deca Heggy. Was it him? No, it might have been somebody else that backed him and then found out the truth. Okay, I'm going to give myself who was really trolling who. And in some ways, this could be a way that where there is genuine trolling, which I've suffered from since 2015 for trying to expose paedophile rings, you know, this could flip the pendulum too much the other way, where nobody believes anybody is a troll. But there's been bullets delivered to houses and houses burnt down. And like I say, I'm not an advocate of violence, but I do want the men, real men, to stand up. Sean Atwood line to students. Angie calls out. Anyway, I'm not finding it at the minute, which is a shame. Deca Heggy has put his expose private, but it's listed in his Facebook group, and there's a lot of it captured on Karma Corner. The truth starts now. Danny the People's Champ. I think I might just leave it at my overview and leave links to, there was one I had open, The Honest Truth. The truth about Deca Heggy live. No, I had a timestamp on a True Media video and I've shut it down because I had a bit of an emergency earlier. So I'll leave it at that. I might follow up with the actual evidence, but I'm going to show you where all the evidence is. And if you are anyway interested in the truth, please just, you know, tune into at least one of these channels and do a little bit of research. It doesn't take long. So we'll leave it at that. Yeah, I've had a bit of an emergency, nothing. Well, I've had something going on, but it's not the end of the world. Check the links. I'll put the links to the channels that I've looked at. Any I've left out, I'm sorry. And yeah, may the truth come out, and may those that are not telling the truth repent and come to Jesus and still take responsibility for your actions. The end of the police recording, I wonder if I could pause this and find it again. The end of the police recording concludes without a doubt, even based on the limited evidence they've got on that Clare's Law document, is that Deca Heggy is considered a risk to women and children and is not allowed to be around children, and is a violent, dangerous man with a propensity for anal rape or public masturbation or other kinds of rape. Do your own research. Don't take my word for it, but at least stand back until you've seen some evidence, and there's plenty to be going on with. God bless people. Check the links in the description. Angie Power Disney signing out.